He was never the loudest in the room, never the one who demanded attention or sought praise. In fact, most people overlooked him entirely. He was just there, a quiet presence in a world that screamed for validation. But inside him, raged a storm no one saw coming. Behind those silent eyes lived a war, one that started the moment he realized life doesn't hand you strength, forces you to earn it. He wasn't born unshakable. He was broken, shattered by disappointments, by people who said they loved him but left anyway, by a world that kicked him while he was down and laughed when he struggled to stand. The boy who once dreamed of being a hero was instead taught that no one's coming to save you. And so he stopped waiting. He stopped hoping for someone to reach down and pull him out. He made the decision, the painful, lonely decision, to become his own rescue. The transformation didn't happen overnight. There were no magical moments, no cinematic music swelling in the background. There were just long nights, sleepless nights, nights where he questioned if it was even worth fighting anymore, where his mind screamed lies like, "You're not enough, and no one cares." But somehow, he kept going. Not because he felt strong, but because he was too damn stubborn to stay weak. He started waking up earlier, not because he wanted to, but because discipline demanded it. He lifted weights that felt heavier than his self-doubt, ran miles that echoed with the footsteps of every person who left him behind. He trained not just his body, but his mind. He read books no one suggested. He studied pain, discipline, masculinity, power. He devoured every word like it was the roadmap out of hell. While others partied, he worked. While others slept, he planned. While others posted for likes, he built in silence, brick by brick, not for applause, not for recognition, but because the boy inside him deserved a man who wouldn't give up on him. And so he fought for that boy. He learned the hard way that people don't respect words, they respect actions. He stopped explaining himself to people who never listened. He let go of the need to be understood and chose instead to become undeniable. And when people laughed at his dreams, he smiled, because he knew they wouldn't laugh for long. There was no applause when he started, no one cheering him on, just the sound of his own heartbeat and the voice in his head saying, "One more rep, one more day, one more push." And when he failed, and he did fail many times, he didn't quit. He adjusted, he recalibrated. He used the losses as lessons and the setbacks as fuel, because every broken piece of him was just a part of the armor he was building. People love to praise the man who wins, but they never ask about the nights he cried, the times he had no one to talk to, the meals he skipped just to pay rent, the loneliness that crept in when he chose to walk a path most men fear. They see the result, but they never respect the process. But he didn't need their respect. He earned his own. He stopped chasing women who didn't see his worth, stopped trying to fit in with men who only valued weakness disguised as pleasure. He chose purpose over popularity, pain over comfort. And through that pain, he forged something unbreakable: character. People noticed the change, but they couldn't understand it. They asked, what happened to him? What happened was simple. The boy died, and in his place rose a man who no longer begged for love, but radiated self-respect. A man who didn't ask for opportunities, but created them. A man who walked into rooms not needing to be liked, but impossible to ignore. He became the kind of man who doesn't flinch when life punches him in the face. The kind who doesn't need a crowd to feel important. The kind who carries scars, not as symbols of defeat, but as reminders that he survived what was meant to destroy him. That's power, real power. You see, an unshakable man isn't built in comfort, he's built in chaos. He's built in failure, betrayal, heartbreak, and solitude. He's not the result of easy victories, but of hard-fought wars. And every step of that war is etched into his soul like a battle map. He doesn't walk with arrogance, he walks with certainty. He doesn't talk about what he's going to do, he just does it. And when he speaks, people listen not because he demands attention, but because his presence commands it. That's the difference between a boy and a man. A boy seeks approval. A man embodies truth. Now, when he stands in front of a mirror, he doesn't see the boy who once felt invisible. He sees a warrior. He sees a man who looked into the abyss and didn't blink. A man who was buried in darkness but chose to plant roots instead. And now, he blooms. He built himself in silence, in pain, in private. But now, he steps into the light not to impress anyone, but to inspire everyone who's ever been broken, abandoned, or overlooked. Because if he can rise, so can they. This speech isn't about one man. It's about every man who's ever been underestimated. Every man who's been told he's too soft, too weak, too emotional. Every man who's been left behind, broken down, and counted out. You're not finished, you're just beginning. There is power inside you that you haven't even touched yet. Rage that hasn't been focused. Pain that hasn't been turned into purpose. You are not meant to die in the same place you were broken. You're meant to rebuild and become the weapon this world never saw coming. So stop waiting, stop blaming, stop making excuses. Every second you waste is a second your future self will regret. Get up, stand up, train, build, bleed if you must, but do not stop. Because someday you'll walk into a room and the same people who ignored you, doubted you, replaced you, they'll stop and they'll stare and they'll whisper, "That's him. That's the man who became unshakable." And you won't say a word, you'll just smile, because you'll know they never saw it coming. And if you felt something while listening to this, if even one part of this story felt like it was about you, then maybe it's because, deep down, you are that man. The one rebuilding quietly, bleeding silently. The one who wasn't handed greatness, but is choosing to build it anyway. You've come this far for a reason. You didn't click this video by accident. There's something inside you that refuses to give up. That voice inside that whispers, "You're not done yet." So don't just walk away after hearing this. If you felt the fire, subscribe. If you're on your own, come back, join us. This isn't just a channel. It's a brotherhood of men who are rising in silence, one painful step at a time, one brutal truth at a time. We're not here to impress anyone. We're here to become someone we've never been before. So click that button, stay with us, and let's keep building in the dark until it's our time to shine.